There exists a force in the universe so powerful that it can transform a penniless immigrant into a steel magnate, turn a college dropout into a technology revolutionary convert, a failed businessman into a fast food emperor, and elevate an unknown dreamer into a legendary icon. This force is not luck, not talent, not connections, not timing, though all of these may play supporting roles. This force is obsessive focus, not casual interest, not mild enthusiasm, not periodic attention, but obsessive, all-consuming, relentless focus that burns with the intensity of 1,000 suns and refuses to be dimmed by any obstacle, any setback, any criticism, or any temporary defeat. In a world where attention is scattered across 1,000 distractions, where the average person's focus lasts mere seconds before jumping to the next stimulus, obsessive focus has become the ultimate superpower. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve, between those who start and those who finish, between those who wish and those who will. Obsessive focus is not a mental disorder or an unhealthy fixation. It is the highest form of mental discipline, the most refined expression of human willpower, the ultimate demonstration of consciousness directed toward a definite purpose with such intensity that the laws of the universe bend to accommodate its demands. When your focus becomes obsessive, when every thought, every action, every decision, every moment of your existence aligns toward a single magnificent objective, you don't just achieve goals, you obliterate limitations. You don't just overcome obstacles, you transform them into stepping stones. You don't just reach success, you command it. Andrew Carnegie understood this principle when he developed an obsessive focus on steel production that consumed his every waking moment for decades. While others in the steel industry maintained casual interest in efficiency and moderate attention to innovation, Carnegie's focus was total, complete, absolute. He thought steel breathed steel, dreamed steel. He studied every aspect of the steel-making process with the intensity of a scientist discovering the secrets of the universe. His obsessive focus wasn't just about making money, it was about mastering every element of steel production so thoroughly that he could create what had never been created before, a vertically integrated empire that controlled every stage from raw materials to finished products. His fortune wasn't built on superior resources or favorable circumstances. His fortune was built on obsessive focus so intense it reshaped an entire industry. But obsessive focus is not obsession without direction. It is not compulsive behavior without purpose. It is the deliberate, conscious, strategic concentration of all your mental and physical resources toward a definite major purpose that is worthy of such extraordinary investment. It is the ability to say no to 10,000 good opportunities so you can say yes to the one great opportunity that deserves your complete attention. It is the wisdom to understand that in a world of infinite possibilities, greatness comes not from trying to do many things well, but from doing one thing so extraordinarily well that it transforms not just your life, but the lives of everyone touched by your obsession. Thomas Edison exemplified this when he developed an obsessive focus on creating practical electrical systems that would illuminate the world. His focus wasn't just on inventing the light bulb that was only one component of his obsession. His focus was on creating complete electrical systems, generators, power distribution networks, switches, meters, everything necessary to bring electric light to humanity. While others focused on individual inventions, Edison's obsessive focus encompassed entire systems. His laboratory in Menlo Park operated around the clock, with Edison himself working 18-hour days, sleeping only when exhaustion made consciousness impossible, then awakening with renewed intensity to continue his obsessive pursuit. His obsessive focus didn't just create inventions, it created the foundation of the modern electrical age. The power of obsessive focus lies in its ability to mobilize resources that remain dormant in casual pursuits. When your focus becomes obsessive, your subconscious mind operates at maximum capacity, working continuously to notice opportunities, generate solutions, and attract resources that align with your obsession. Your conscious mind operates with laser-like precision, evaluating every decision against your obsessive objective, rejecting anything that doesn't serve your purpose, embracing everything that accelerates your progress. Your energy becomes concentrated instead of scattered. Your time becomes invested instead of spent. Your attention becomes surgical instead of superficial. Most people never experience obsessive focus because they mistake it for unhealthy behavior, or they lack the conviction necessary to commit completely to a single objective. They prefer the comfort of keeping their options open, the safety of not putting all their eggs in one basket, the security of having backup plans and alternative paths. But obsessive focus requires the courage to bet everything on your vision, to stake your entire future on your ability to achieve what others consider impossible, to commit so completely to your objective that retreat becomes unthinkable and failure becomes merely a temporary detour toward inevitable success. Henry Ford demonstrated this courage when he developed an obsessive focus on mass-producing affordable automobiles for the average American family. His obsession wasn't just about building cars, it was about democratizing transportation, about creating assembly line manufacturing processes that had never existed before, about paying workers wages that had never been paid before, so they could afford the products they were making. His obsessive focus was so intense that he rejected the conventional wisdom of his era, ignored the criticism of his competitors, and persisted through financial difficulties that would have destroyed less obsessed individuals. His Model T became more than a car. It became the symbol of American industrial might, the proof that obsessive focus could transform not just industries but entire civilizations. The development of obsessive focus begins with what Napoleon Hill called burning desire. A want so intense that it becomes a need so compelling that it becomes an obsession so powerful that it reorganizes your entire existence around its achievement. But this burning desire cannot be casual wanting or moderate wishing. It must be a consuming fire that burns away everything that doesn't serve your definite major purpose, that illuminates every opportunity that does serve your purpose, that provides the energy necessary to persist through any obstacle and overcome any setback. This burning desire creates what might be called tunnel vision. Not the negative kind that blinds you to important peripheral information, but the positive kind that filters out distractions and focuses your attention on what matters most. Your obsessive focus becomes like a magnifying glass, concentrating sunlight. Scattered rays of attention become concentrated beams of mental energy capable of burning through any obstacle. Your thoughts, which once scattered across dozens of interests and hundreds of concerns, now concentrate on a single target with the intensity of a laser beam. Walt Disney embodied this burning desire when he developed an obsessive focus on creating family entertainment that would endure for generations. His obsession began with a simple idea, a cartoon mouse named Mickey, but grew into something far greater. Disney's obsessive focus encompassed not just animation, but storytelling, character development, technological innovation, theme park design, and family entertainment systems. His burning desire was so intense that he mortgaged his house, borrowed against his life insurance, and risked financial ruin multiple times to fund his obsessive pursuit. His obsessive focus wasn't just about creating entertainment, it was about creating magic, about building experiences that would touch the hearts and minds of children and adults across generations. His empire wasn't built on talent alone, though he was gifted. It was built on obsessive focus so intense that it created new realities from pure imagination. But obsessive focus without systematic application becomes mere fantasy. Your burning desire must translate into what might be called obsessive action, daily behaviors so aligned with your definite major purpose that every hour of every day contributes to your objective. This doesn't mean working constantly without rest or recovery. It means ensuring that every significant action, every important decision, every major investment of time and energy serves your obsessive focus. Your life becomes streamlined, efficient, purposeful. Everything that doesn't contribute to your obsession gets eliminated, delegated, or minimized. This obsessive action creates what psychologists call deliberate practice. Systematic effort specifically designed to improve performance in your area of obsession. Unlike casual practice, which maintains current skill levels, deliberate practice pushes you beyond your comfort zone, challenges your existing capabilities, and forces continuous improvement. When your focus becomes obsessive, your practice becomes deliberate, your effort becomes strategic, your improvement becomes exponential rather than linear. Steve Jobs demonstrated this obsessive action through his relentless attention to product design details that others considered insignificant. His obsessive focus on creating insanely great products extended to every element of design, manufacturing, packaging, and user experience. He would spend weeks perfecting the internal components of computers that users would never see, months refining user interfaces to eliminate single unnecessary clicks, years developing technologies that wouldn't be released for multiple product cycles. His obsessive action wasn't just about creating good products, it was about creating perfect products that would set new standards for entire industries. His obsessive focus on perfection created products that transformed how humanity interacts with technology. The mental dimension of obsessive focus involves training your mind to operate at levels of concentration that most people never experience. This requires developing what might be called monotasking mastery, the ability to engage completely with one activity for extended periods without mental wandering, without distraction, without the urge to multitask. In a world where the average person's attention span has shrunk to less than 8 seconds, the ability to concentrate obsessively for hours becomes a massive competitive advantage. This monotasking mastery creates flow states, periods of optimal performance where time seems to stop, self-consciousness disappears, and your capabilities exceed their normal limitations. In flow states, obsessive focus feels effortless despite being extraordinarily intense. You accomplish more in 1 hour of obsessive focus than most people accomplish in an entire day of scattered attention. You solve problems that seemed impossible, generate ideas that seemed inaccessible, perform at levels that seemed unreachable. The emotional dimension of obsessive focus involves managing the psychological challenges that arise when you commit completely to a single objective. Obsessive focus creates emotional intensity that can be overwhelming if not properly managed. Your highs become higher because every success feels monumental when it serves your obsession. Your lows become lower because every setback feels devastating when it threatens your obsession. Learning to navigate these emotional extremes becomes essential for sustaining obsessive focus over the extended periods necessary for extraordinary achievement. This emotional management requires developing what might be called obsessive resilience, the ability to maintain your focus despite temporary defeats, criticism, skepticism, and even ridicule from those who don't understand your obsession. Most people will not understand why you're willing to sacrifice comfort, security, and social approval for the pursuit of an objective that may take years or decades to achieve. Your obsessive focus will be questioned, criticized, and sometimes attacked by those who lack the conviction to pursue their own obsessions. Colonel Sanders exemplified this obsessive resilience when he maintained his focus on franchising his chicken recipe despite being rejected 109 times. His obsessive focus on creating a restaurant empire from his secret recipe sustained him through rejections that would have crushed less obsessed individuals. Each rejection could have been interpreted as evidence that his obsession was misguided, that his focus was wasted, that his dream was impossible. Instead, each rejection became fuel for his obsessive fireproof that he was one step closer to the acceptance that would transform his obsession into reality. His obsessive focus didn't just create KFC, it created proof that obsessive focus can overcome any obstacle, persist through any setback, and achieve any objective when maintained with sufficient intensity. The social dimension of obsessive focus involves managing relationships with people who don't share your obsession, don't understand your commitment, and may even try to discourage your focus. Your obsessive focus will naturally attract some people and repel others. Those who are attracted to your focus will want to support your obsession, contribute to your objective, and benefit from your success. Those who are repelled by your focus may feel threatened by your commitment, uncomfortable with your intensity, or resentful of your single-minded pursuit. This social navigation requires developing what might be called obsessive diplomacy, the ability to maintain your focus while managing relationships with people who don't share your obsession. You must learn to communicate your vision in ways that inspire, rather than intimidate, to demonstrate your commitment in ways that attract, rather than repel, to pursue your obsession in ways that include rather than exclude others who can contribute to your success. The key is understanding that your obsessive focus is not about you alone, it's about creating value that serves others, solving problems that benefit humanity, achieving objectives that contribute to collective advancement. When your obsession serves purposes larger than personal gain, others naturally want to support your focus rather than resist it. Elon Musk demonstrates this obsessive diplomacy through his ability to attract brilliant minds to support his obsessions with sustainable transportation, space exploration, and artificial intelligence. His obsessive focus on these objectives is so intense and so clearly beneficial to humanity that top engineers, designers, and business leaders compete to join his teams. His obsessions have attracted billions in investment, thousands of employees, and millions of customers who share his vision of technological advancement serving human progress. The learning dimension of obsessive focus involves using your concentrated attention to acquire knowledge and develop skills at accelerated rates. When your focus becomes obsessive, your learning becomes obsessive as well. You don't just study your field casually, you immerse yourself, completely reading everything, studying everyone. learning from every source that can contribute to your obsession. Your obsessive focus creates what might be called accelerated expertise, the rapid development of world-class knowledge and skills through concentrated study and deliberate practice. This accelerated learning happens because obsessive focus eliminates the inefficiencies that plague casual learning. You don't waste time on information that doesn't serve your obsession. You don't spend energy on skills that don't contribute to your objective. You don't engage in learning activities that feel productive, but don't actually advance your expertise. Your obsessive focus creates a learning filter that accepts only the most relevant, valuable, and applicable knowledge while rejecting everything else. Warren Buffett exemplifies this obsessive learning through his decades-long focus on understanding businesses, markets, and investments. His obsessive focus on investment excellence has led him to read hundreds of annual reports, thousands of business publications, and countless books about companies, industries, and economic principles. His obsessive learning has created investment expertise that has generated extraordinary returns for over 6 decades. His learning wasn't casual or random, it was obsessive and strategic, focused entirely on developing the knowledge necessary to excel at his chosen obsession. The creative dimension of obsessive focus involves using concentrated attention to generate breakthrough innovations and original solutions. Obsessive focus doesn't just improve existing methods, it creates entirely new approaches, novel solutions, and revolutionary innovations. When your focus becomes obsessive, your creativity becomes obsessive as well. You don't just think about conventional solutions, you imagine possibilities that have never been considered, combinations that have never been attempted, approaches that have never been tried. This obsessive creativity creates what might be called innovation intensity, the generation of breakthrough ideas at rates that seem impossible to those with scattered attention. Your obsessive focus on specific challenges creates deep understanding that enables breakthrough solutions. Your concentrated attention on particular problems creates comprehensive analysis that reveals hidden opportunities. Your focused energy on definite objectives creates persistent effort that eventually produces revolutionary results. James Dyson demonstrates this obsessive creativity through his development of revolutionary vacuum cleaner technology. His obsessive focus on improving suction efficiency led him to create 5 U-126 prototypes over 15 years. His creativity wasn't casual or sporadic, it was obsessive and systematic, focused entirely on solving specific technical challenges that had limited vacuum cleaner performance for decades. His obsessive creativity eventually produced innovations that created an entirely new category of vacuum cleaners and built a multi-billion-dollar company. The strategic dimension of obsessive focus involves using concentrated attention to develop comprehensive plans that serve your definite major purpose. Obsessive focus doesn't just create intense effort, it creates strategic effort that maximizes results while minimizing wasted energy. Your obsession becomes not just about working hard, but about working smart, in service of your obsessive objective. Every action becomes strategic, every decision becomes calculated, every investment becomes purposeful. This strategic obsession creates what might be called systematic excellence, the development of comprehensive systems that automatically generate progress toward your obsessive objective. You don't just work obsessively, you create obsessive systems that work. Even when you're not working, you don't just focus obsessively, you build obsessive processes that maintain focus even when your attention is required elsewhere. The implementation dimension of obsessive focus recognizes that focus without execution remains merely intense thinking. Your obsessive focus must translate into obsessive implementation, the relentless execution of strategies, plans, and systems that serve your definite major purpose. This obsessive implementation creates what might be called execution excellence, the ability to follow through on commitments with such consistency and quality that extraordinary results become inevitable rather than accidental. Obsessive implementation means doing what you've committed to do regardless of how you feel, regardless of external circumstances, regardless of temporary obstacles or setbacks. It means maintaining your focus even when progress seems slow, even when results seem distant, even when others question your obsession. Your implementation becomes as obsessive as your focus, creating compound momentum that accelerates your progress toward your objective. Ray Kroc exemplified this obsessive implementation through his systematic expansion of McDonald's from a single restaurant concept to a global franchise empire. His obsessive focus on consistency, quality, and systematic replication led him to develop detailed operations manuals, extensive training programs, and rigorous quality control systems that ensured every McDonald's restaurant delivered identical experiences regardless of location. His obsessive implementation created systematic excellence that could be replicated thousands of times across the globe. The measurement dimension of obsessive focus involves using concentrated attention to track progress, evaluate results, and optimize performance in service of your obsessive objective. Obsessive focus without measurement becomes obsessive activity that may or may not produce desired results. Obsessive focus with measurement becomes obsessive progress that systematically advances toward definite objectives. This obsessive measurement creates what might be called progress intensity, the ability to track and optimize every aspect of performance that contributes to your obsessive objective. You don't just work obsessively, you measure obsessively, evaluating every effort against specific criteria, analyzing every result against predetermined standards, optimizing every system against measurable outcomes. The adaptation dimension of obsessive focus recognizes that your obsession must evolve as you learn, as circumstances change, and as opportunities emerge. Static obsession becomes irrelevant obsession. Dynamic obsession remains relevant obsession that adapts to serve your evolving understanding of your definite major purpose. This doesn't mean changing your fundamental objective. It means refining your approach, improving your methods, and enhancing your strategies based on accumulated knowledge and changing circumstances. This adaptive obsession creates what might be called evolutionary excellence, the continuous improvement of your obsessive focus based on feedback results and new understanding. Your obsession becomes more refined, more strategic, more effective over time. You don't just maintain obsessive focus, you develop obsessive focus that becomes increasingly powerful and increasingly effective. Jeff Bezos demonstrates this adaptive obsession through Amazon's evolution from online bookstore to global everything store to cloud computing pioneer. His obsessive focus on customer satisfaction has remained constant, but his understanding of how to serve customers has evolved dramatically over decades. His adaptive obsession has created a company that continuously evolves while maintaining obsessive focus on its core mission of customer service excellence. The compound dimension of obsessive focus recognizes that obsessive focus operating over extended periods creates exponential rather than linear results. Your obsessive focus doesn't just add value, it multiplies value through compound effects that accumulate over time. Every day of obsessive focus builds on previous days to create momentum that becomes increasingly powerful. Every month of obsessive focus compounds with previous months to create progress that becomes increasingly accelerated. Every year of obsessive focus combines with previous years to create achievements that become increasingly extraordinary. This compound effect explains why obsessive focus seems to create overnight success that actually required years or decades of invisible preparation. The compound effect of obsessive focus operating over time creates results that appear sudden but are actually the inevitable outcome of sustained, concentrated effort applied consistently toward worthy objectives. The legacy dimension of obsessive focus extends beyond personal achievement to influence others, inspire change, and create lasting impact. When your obsessive focus creates extraordinary results, it doesn't just transform your life, it transforms the lives of everyone touched by your achievement. Your obsessive focus becomes proof that extraordinary objectives are achievable through extraordinary commitment. Your success becomes evidence that obsessive focus can overcome any obstacle and achieve any worthy goal. This legacy effect creates what might be called inspirational intensity, the ability of your obsessive focus to inspire others to develop their own obsessive focus on worthy objectives. Your achievement becomes permission for others to pursue their own obsessions. Your success becomes proof that obsessive focus works when applied with sufficient intensity and sustained over sufficient time. The mastery dimension of obsessive focus recognizes that obsessive focus, like any skill, becomes more powerful and more natural with practice. Initially, maintaining obsessive focus requires significant conscious effort and continuous discipline. Over time, obsessive focus becomes more automatic and less effortful. Eventually, scattered attention feels uncomfortable and unnatural, while obsessive focus feels normal and energizing. This progression from effort to ease, from conscious obsession to unconscious focus, from discipline to identity, transforms obsessive focus from something you do into something you are. You become an obsessively focused person who naturally concentrates on what matters most, who automatically eliminates distractions that don't serve your objectives, who instinctively focuses on activities that create the results you desire. As you develop mastery of obsessive focus over time, you'll discover that it becomes more than a mental discipline. It becomes a way of being that influences every aspect of your existence. Your obsessive focus creates obsessive results. Your concentrated energy creates concentrated achievements. Your directed obsession creates directed outcomes that seemed impossible from less focused perspectives. The transformation from scattered attention to obsessive focus is the transformation from ordinary potential to extraordinary achievement, from average results to exceptional outcomes, from hoping for success to creating success through systematic application of obsessive focus to worthy objectives. Your obsessive focus journey begins with a simple recognition: extraordinary achievement requires extraordinary focus, and extraordinary focus means obsessive focus applied consistently over extended periods toward definite major purposes that are worthy of such extraordinary investment of mental and physical resources. The practical application of obsessive focus begins immediately with your next choice about where to direct your attention. You don't need perfect conditions, elaborate systems, or extensive preparation. You need only the decision to focus obsessively on one definite, major purpose that is worthy of your complete commitment, your total energy, your absolute dedication. Your specific obsession matters less than your commitment to obsessive focus development. Whether you choose to focus obsessively on building a business, developing a skill, creating art, serving others, or achieving any other worthy objective, what matters is that you choose to focus obsessively rather than casually, systematically, rather than sporadically, strategically, rather than accidentally. The transformation that obsessive focus creates is not just possible, it's inevitable when concentration is maintained obsessively over time. Every person who has ever achieved extraordinary results has understood either consciously or unconsciously that greatness flows to obsessive focus. Success follows sustained concentration, and achievement amplifies with applied obsession. Your extraordinary success is not hiding in some distant opportunity waiting to be discovered. Your extraordinary achievement is not dependent on circumstances beyond your control waiting to improve. Your extraordinary life is not reserved for people more talented, more connected, or more lucky than you. Your extraordinary future is waiting for your obsessive focus to create it, develop it, and multiply it into the legendary achievement you have the potential to accomplish. The time for casual focus has ended. The time for obsessive focus has begun. Your extraordinary achievement is waiting for your obsessive focus to create it. The question is not whether obsessive focus creates extraordinary results. It has created every extraordinary achievement in human history. The question is whether you will develop the obsessive focus necessary to create your own extraordinary achievement by directing your consciousness toward worthy objectives with obsessive intensity and unwavering commitment. Your obsessive focus mastery journey begins with your next conscious choice about where to direct your mental energy. Your extraordinary achievement begins with your next obsessively focused action. Your legendary life begins with your next moment of obsessive concentration. The power is in your obsession, the opportunity is in your focus, and the time is now. If this message has awakened your awareness of the transformative power contained in obsessive focus, if these words have activated your understanding of how obsessive concentration creates extraordinary results, then begin immediately with your next choice about where to direct your obsessive attention. Subscribe to this channel for weekly reinforcement of obsessive focus principles and practices that will support your extraordinary achievement journey. Share this truth with someone whose life is waiting for their own obsessive focus awakening. Comment below with your commitment to obsessive focus on the specific objective that deserves your complete dedication, the obsession that will compound over time to create the extraordinary achievement you desire. Your legendary life begins with your obsessive focus, and your obsessive focus begins right now.